Hi, welcome to Animal Wellness Podcast. Today I'd like to introduce you to Sam Nichols, who is one of our new rehab nurses that will be helping us on the weekends, which will also provide us the ability to do those hydrobaths when it gets warmer in our spring-summer months. So Saturday and Sunday we'll be offering those in the morning, as well as using our Accell Therapy Mat and doing some remedial work. Sam is one of our massage students and can help look at your dog as a veterinary nurse and examine the teeth and the ears and help you sort some supplements out on the weekends. So Sam has a very interesting story to tell you about because she traveled through Europe with her dog. So I'd like you to welcome Sam and have a listen to what she has to say about traveling with her dog in Europe.
Hi, my name's Sam. As Elaine said, I travelled through Europe with my dog. You're all probably wondering how I did that. Well, for starters, he's quite a small dog, so I'm quite fortunate. He's also very well behaved and well mannered. I have another dog who's quite anxious, being a dachshund, and I wouldn't suggest taking an anxious dog because it obviously gets you, things that you can't get around, like if they're super anxious with people or they have any kind of, nervousness in a crate, it's not going to work. So I was pretty, as I said, very fortunate with my dog. He's a very social dog. He also doesn't mind being in the crate, which is also something you should do crate training before you go, because they are going to be on the plane for at least 16 hours and under the cargo. We first left the end of November 2018. I decided the year before that I was going to travel. I used to love traveling and I did quite a bit of it beforehand, and I thought, well, if I'm going to go, I might as well take him with me. It was not a long process to get him over. I did it myself. I went with Qantas and I actually organised all the veterinary trips. I did everything. So the ones that I had to do was I had to make sure that the 2 months before, I had to make sure he got his rabies, and he had to get a final examination 3 days before we went. So that covers parasites, make sure he's completely up to date with all of his vaccinations, and also get a rabies titer test to make sure that he doesn't actually have any antibodies, and also to make sure that he was all good and he was covered, which covers him for 3 years. And then I organised the flight, so we took him the day before, we got him weighed with the crate, all that sort of stuff. And then I took him that day and he flew before me, and then I went on a different flight and I caught up with him and we landed in Heathrow. And the reason we picked Heathrow was because obviously the fact they speak English, but also Heathrow being one of the largest airports in the world, it's a lot easier for you to get your dog in. There's a lot less paperwork. He only had to stay in quarantine for 4 hours, which is their kennels, just to make sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's not a long one, it's just a short 4 hours. It's just to make sure, obviously, that they don't have any parasites they might have picked up, or any kind of bugs, being that there only are a few dogs on the plane. I think there was 3 with him that actually flew over because they only have limited space, but one of those dogs could have had something, or he could have had something, so they just wanted to check. And then once I picked him up, we went from there. We stayed in Heathrow for about a week, and then we went to Munich. And a lot of the countries in Europe, you can fly your dog in cabins. So they've recently changed it where you have to fly in and out of England with the dog under cargo nowadays, but when I was there we didn't. And it was like a 3-hour flight to Munich, and he was allowed in. He had a carry cage, and they have dogs that don't weigh any more than 8 to 9 kilos with the carry cage. And because he's quite small, being a German Spitz-Middle, which is like a big pom, he got covered by that. And then we got put on the back of the plane, and then we had our own room to ourselves, and then we went there. And then we just went from there. We went from Munich to Prague on the train, and you're allowed to take your dog. If it's a large dog, it has to wear a muzzle. If it's a small dog, in a carry cage, or in his case, because he's very cute, he charmed everyone, and he was allowed to sit next to me on the seat as long as he behaved, and they would pat him on the way through. And obviously he's technically not allowed, but he's cute and they'll forgive him. If you've got a really cute dog, they'll probably let you do it too. And so it was about a 4-hour train trip. We went through Austria, and then when we went from Prague, we also went to Austria, and that was about a 2-hour trip from Prague, and again just on trains. So he's allowed on all trains. There are a few that may not let you, depending, but because he's a smaller dog, it was totally fine. Larger dogs obviously are a little bit different, so that would be something that would take a bit more research, but if you have a large dog. And then we lived in the Netherlands, and he rode around on my bike a lot. I had a bike basket for him.
That's cool.
Yeah, in the Netherlands, people get right away if you're on a bike, and a lot of people were fascinated by this dog that not only came from Australia, but that was zooming around in my bike basket. And I took him, we rode from Rotterdam up to Keukenhof, and I took him all around, and then we lived there for 10 months, and then we moved over to Edinburgh, and we went on the train.
What did you do for 10 months in
Rotterdam? I didn't have as glamorous a job as I have here. I was a dishwasher, but when you go to a country where they don't really speak English and you have to...
That's okay, you got work.
I got work, yeah.
That's fine.
And then I just did that, and I did that on, during the week, and then when we weren't working, because we started in the night time, obviously, we started about 6 o'clock. During the day, we got the pleasure of spending the lovely time in Netherlands. Yeah,
I really like the Netherlands.
It's a beautiful place, and
the people are quite nice.
Yeah, and it was different.
Speak English.
Yes. And my other half, he was like, we could go to Amsterdam, but it's really expensive. And he's like, if I wanted to hang out with Aussies and Kiwis, I would have stayed home, which is very true because there's a lot of them there.
Yeah.
And he wanted somewhere different, and Rotterdam was the next big city that speaks English to a point, but it's also very modern.
Yeah.
And we were literally 10 minutes from the train station, so
good.
It was good. And then like I said, we took the train, and we took the Euro train over from France, and we took it over to the UK, and we saw the cliffs of Dover, and we spent a little bit of time there, and then we got a hire car, and we drove through England up to Edinburgh, and then we got like an Airbnb, and then eventually we got lucky after about a week or two, and we got a place. We did spend a little bit of time in Glasgow, again, just took the train because it's really not far. And then we spent the next year in Edinburgh, and unfortunately it had to end quickly because of COVID. We lived through that. That was interesting.
Yeah, so you had like 2 years traveling.
Yeah, we went to quite a few countries. So in the meantime, like when we left the Netherlands, we zoomed around, and we went down to Croatia. We went through Bosnia.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, our other vet, Melina, is from there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Her daughter's
place.
in Croatia.
Yeah.
I really like Poland as well.
I wanted to go to Poland. It was just so hard to try to organise a dog and a big suitcase and everything by myself.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was with just by myself, and my other half met up with me a month later. So that's so he ended up going to like 14, 15 countries.
Very cool.
Super
cool.
Yeah.
So, with your weekend work here, how have you found working with animal wellness? How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been different, honestly. I had a placement before this, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out because there was quite a few vets on, quite a few vet nurses, and you kind of a little get pushed to the side, which kind of isn't very good when you're learning in there, and you can push a bit, but with here I found that obviously
some good training,
yourself, Elaine. Elaine is a really good vet. She's the sort of person that sort of doesn't believe that you should just be doing washing or just do the front desk. You should actually learn.
There's a lot to learn, isn't there?
There's a lot,
and you really need hands-on.
Yeah,
and we've got some good supervising.
Here, which is
really
the nurses
great.
have been really good.
Yeah.
Jackie's been really good, and everybody else.
They're really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we look forward to helping your pets more on the weekends with our lovely Sam. So say hello to Sam anytime, and we're going to put her details and contact number so you can SMS when you want to book in for the hydrobaths, so that we don't have a big queue up and people waiting. It will take around 15 to 20 minutes per hydrobath. So we're going to get Sam to help organise the time. So so enjoy. Have a good day, everyone.